Simply said, be content, be full, wake up and already be ready. Waking up and knowing everything you need, here it is. Should I not do the things that are available today? Should I not go on the beach if I like to go on the beach? Buy a nice car if I like to buy a nice car? Jump from the parachute if I like to jump? I didn't say that. What I'm saying is, if your satisfaction about life, your fullness of life is dependent on these things, then it's a problem, because they will not be available to you at all times. When I set myself a goal that I really want to have, I have no doubt about it. I only need to have patience. I need to be clear and calm to really figure out the proper plans, how to do. And then, meanwhile, there is no doubt in that sense, because I feel if I really want something, the energy must be there. My mind must be there. If my mind is there, my energy is there. And there we have sometimes these nice Asian sayings. Whatever is important to you, where your heart is, there is the mind. Where the mind is, so where the intention is, there is the energy. Where the energy is, there's the creation. So, if your heart is hanging on something, but your actions are doing something else, that just means your energy and what your heart really wants, they are not merging at all. So the universe doesn't know, what do you want? What should the universe give you now? So for me, it's all about alignment. What I feel inside aligns with what I talk. It aligns with what I think. It aligns with what my actions do. It aligns optimally with the proper circumstances. And when everything is aligned, then the energy can just flow. Then it just flows and it just happens. Everybody, no matter where they are, is able to transform something about himself or herself. It's just about the methods and the understanding that, first of all, it's possible. Second of all, there are methods how to do it. And third of all, you don't need to wait for anybody to come into your life in order to start it. So the message is, there is a big part that you have in your own hands. And there's a big other part you don't have in your hands. Mm-hmm. And I'm just saying, maybe it would be good to focus your energy into the things that are 100% based on your own energies and your own actions. Yeah. In Buddhist teaching, number one is about you yourself become suffer-free, first of all, for yourself. And second one is develop the compassion to help other people, other beings, not just humans, to get along the same path for personal liberation. So why is that compassion so important? Because ultimately we are connected. Simple expressed, it's like this in this room right now. We are like 5 people. Now just imagine this room would be locked and we have a limited amount of food, a limited amount of drinks. So if I would now just say, okay, good, I will just take everything to me. So as long as I survive, it's all good. You all can suffer. Automatically has caused conflict. So it's just a question of time until we're going to break out in a fight. Why? Because in Buddhist teachings we say it is impossible to become happy, satisfied, free on your own. Why? Because you are connected. So there is only one way to really sustainably remain somehow in peace, and that one is to look for a way that we all are connected and share what we have. Either we all succeed or we all fail. That's it. But it's not possible that an individual within a society succeeds alone and the others suffer. Then the conflict is embedded already in the core of this approach.
What do you think is the key to living authentically?
First of all, the possibility that you are able to observe yourself. If you can't see yourself, if you cannot observe your own actions, observe what is it that's going on the mind, then it's really difficult to make a differentiation between are you authentic now or are you not? Yeah? Are you lying to yourself or are you not? So number one step is you need to be able to observe yourself. Second one is you need to be able to criticize yourself. So if at all times you always say, I'm the best, there's nothing I can improve myself in, I'm almost godlike, so then there is no development coming. But now, exactly those two things that I mentioned, observing yourself and then being able to criticize. Number one, you need awareness in order to do the observation. And number two, you need strength to take the criticize that you give to yourself. Awareness and strength. And this is the reason why it is so good to have physical exercises integrated into your lifestyle, that all the time are having these two areas embedded into the training already. This is also the approach that I'm trying to promote, that everything can be changed by the way how our mind is looking at ourselves and into the world. It's all about the mind. It's all about the mind. But in order to change the mind, we need something. Awareness and strength, for example. How do you get to strength? How do you make the mind stronger? How do you make that yourself become more aware? We cannot just sit and wish, okay, I want to be more aware. I want to be more strong. No, we need an additional instrument in order to be able to cultivate it. And this instrument is the body. For me, it's the body. So by using the body and putting your body into a challenging position, into a challenging exercise, that is why now, because your body is shaking, because your body is under stress, this is now why we have the chance to improve the mind. Because now it's the mind power that can determine what your body should do and should not do. This is that relationship. At the end of the day, it's about the mind power that we want to have. But we need the body to cultivate everything that we would like to have there. I also think that this is that specialty maybe about the various teachings that are existing, because many of them are maybe study-based, book-based, I don't know what based. And at least this way of what we try to share, it's physical and mind-based. But the physical part is just the entrance. It's nice, it is exciting, it's beautiful, it's great to be able to immerse yourself from time to time into the possibilities of what this world has given to us. But it's not the most important. So the approach for me would be, first of all, find yourself, be content, first of all, simply said, be content, be full, wake up and already be ready, waking up and knowing everything you need, here it is. That's it. Now, whatever comes during the day doesn't really matter, because you know that this, it's there, it's full, it's complete. You have been complete already. And with this completeness of yourself, then now you can engage in the things. You can enjoy your time. That is not a problem, because you know already the basics or the foundation of your life. It's here. It's stable. It's stable. It's solid. You cannot shake it. It's there. But then now, going here, going there, doing this, doing that, is all not a problem. So that is also the misinterpretation that people say, yeah, so should I not do the things that are available today? Should I not go on the beach if I like to go on the beach? Buy a nice car if I like to buy a nice car? Jump from the parachute if I like to jump? I didn't say that. What I'm saying is, if your satisfaction about life, your fullness of life is dependent on these things, then it's a problem, because they will not be available to you at all times. The availability of these things is not because of what you want. It's because of how the circumstances are. And so the idea is, find yourself, build yourself up, invest in yourself, make yourself stable, figure out your place in the world, and afterwards, when this is established, now enjoy the world. This is what I'm saying. It's the lack of energy itself. The lack of energy resulting mainly out of the fact that too many people are sitting too much. There is too much work, meanwhile, being done in this world, where their daily week, their daily month is consisting of sitting. There is no physicality inside there anymore where you could actually channel your energies and express them in some way, getting the energy to express itself from time to time. So what does the energy do? Instead of flowing and nourishing the body, it gets stuck sometimes. Because of the sitting, it just also gets stuck and then goes maybe into your head or goes to wherever it goes and creates all type of problems. Mental problems, emotional problems, physical problems. But many of these things simply because of the lack of motion, the lack of using the body. If the one would have the idea that we are supposed to come to this world and just sit in our room and do all our thinking work and create a life by thinking, well, then maybe life would look like this. But we have been giving hands and arms and feet and all of these things, I think, because it's different to touch the earth, it's different to touch the tree, it's different to touch the water, it's different to walk, it's different to jump, it's different to run, it's different to swim, than just like looking at all these things on the screen. How a tree looks, how the water looks, whatever. So that means this digitally based consumption, instead of the real deal, the real simple stuff, going out of the house and step on the grass, this is what is creating a big, big shift for the mental states, I think. Yeah. If something is really important in your life, then your lifetime should go a lot into that direction. If your mind is focused, your actions that you do are not lazy actions, they also fit together. I really think there is no secret behind. If you put in the work and the circumstances are also right and you put in the energy and the determination and your heart hangs behind it, for me there is no reason to not say it's going to happen. As simple as this. So when something was important to me, I kept going, and if the day was long, I had a long time to practice.
Forgive, forget, and let go of what is stopping you from connecting. You even feel connected to people you don't know. Even if they live on the other side of the world, you feel connected to them. It expands from the center and embraces everything, which means it's everywhere. How do you know that the person has compassion? How do you know you have compassion? How do you know you love? How do you know you love someone? How do you know these things? I think it's not a question of knowing. It's a question of feeling. When we talk about love, when we talk about compassion, it is something you feel. Yeah, it's like, just for an example now, yes? I love you. I love you. I have compassion with you. Yeah, no, exaggerated now, yeah, but it doesn't matter what you say. It's not the words that you tell to somebody, I love you. And I feel compassion with you. Or the same like, thank you for everything you've done to me. And this is why gratefulness, thankfulness, compassion, love. Sometimes those four we are also regarding as qualities of the heart. Qualities of the heart. So how do you know that you have this type of quality? Because you feel it. And where do you feel it? It's amongst the strongest feelings a human, I think, can have. Yeah, and from where would I say does it radiate? From the heart, from the center. And what is love? It is a massive expansion from the center, which is embracing everything. Some people say love is God. Okay, makes sense, fits. It expands from the center and embraces everything, which means it's everywhere. Okay, that would fit very good. The ultimate truth of this universe is ultimate love. Okay. If you express it like this, also fits to me. So what is this feeling of love? You feel connected to humans. You feel connected to this place. You feel connected to the nature. You even feel connected to people you don't know. Even if they live on the other side of the world, you feel connected to them. You feel that on the earth we are connected. You feel in our solar system we are connected. You even feel, in case there would be some type of beings on the Mars, you even feel for them. Because the connection doesn't end. And as long as this expression of love, if you talk about the type of love which is still excluding anything, anyone, I would maybe find another word for it. But this is not the one where I think is related to that quality that you're supposed to develop in your heart. Yeah. So on the one side, it's this very deep and strong feeling of connectivity to everything. And this is the one thing. And now because you're connected and you see somebody is crying there and you see somebody is suffering there and you see somebody has a hard time, it doesn't matter because of what. You feel also something inside this connectivity where you would actually like to raise all of them up to get out of that state where you see them in. So in this now, how I would express in simple terms what compassion is about and why they are so closely related. First, you are connected because you're connected. Now you feel more. These are those two. And now how does now in those constellations does forgiveness, forgive, let go. Yeah. How does this in the way fit in? Well, forgive, let go, forget. Forget about what? Let go of what? Forgive, forget, and let go of what is stopping you from connecting. What is stopping me from connecting? Watching through the world only through this body. This is what stops you from connecting. Thinking that this is everything that matters. You yourself are stopping you from connecting. The more I think this complete life, this complete universe is only about you, the less you connect. It's about know where you are standing. Know where you're standing. Accept the way, accept difficulties, accept the limitations, accept the pain, accept the things you could not do on the first day. Feel inside yourself, I definitely have problems with that. I have problem with stamina. I have problem with running. Now I have problem with push-up. Doesn't matter what. First day is realize where you are standing. And after realize where you're standing, accept it for yourself. Accept it for yourself that at the moment it's fact. No need to find excuses or anything to talk you out of it. You're not good enough in this area. Okay. At the moment, I prepare myself for truth. This is how it is at the moment. So number one. So why is it important? That first of all, you must accept the situation where you're in and must see really where you are standing. Because if this first initial starting point is already wrong, whoever is going to support you and try to give you guidance, he doesn't know in which direction he should put you because he doesn't know where you're standing. So before we even start to walk in any direction, I cannot tell you must walk more north if I don't know where are you located. I cannot just say you must walk more north. To another person, I say, okay, but you, my friend, you must walk more south. Because he is from another starting point than you. So that means in order that somebody can give you guidance and that you are also really progressing, make sure for yourself first that you accept where you are standing. You accept all the mistakes that you have done until now, and you accept the consequences that you need to live with at the moment based on everything that in the past maybe you did that you regret. Make it one time, make it become really strong, start crying, whatsoever. So many ways of releasing this. Yeah? But the first point is accept. Yes, life is unfair. Welcome. Welcome in it. Boom. That's the starting point. And now from there, think first. How would I like to see myself in the future? Break it down into small steps that you think you can realize them. Don't make too big jumps, make them in smaller steps. At every day, ask yourself, the way how I am behaving right now, the things that I am doing right now, are they going to bring me here where I wanted to go actually just 1 week ago when I made the plan? And when you say, no, at the moment it's not bringing me there, change it. Yeah? If there is something that is in our hands, it is the way of paying attention to this type of approach. You don't know where you're going to end. You don't know where this life is going to bring you. The only thing that we can do is to shape the direction. What you are going to meet along this way, along this journey, what you're going to meet when you walk that direction, you don't know. You don't know. But it's about shaping just the direction, not shaping the goal. It's shaping the direction. And there are two directions. One, embracing more. One, separating more. Yeah? The power lies in both.
How much struggle and how much suffering are you willing to take in your life? This is a really, really big question. On the one side, you can make your ideas about what you would like to have, where you would like to be. The other question is, what are you willing to sacrifice? Through how many different pains, conflicts, challenges are you willing to go through? Because there is something that goes hand in hand. Walking up the mountain. Walking to the peak is not going to get more easy. The higher the altitude, the more difficult it becomes. The challenges are not going to get easier the higher you reach. It fits in so many different ways, like also when it comes to the haters, especially in the field of social media. The more exposure, the more haters. Suddenly it feels like they might affect you until you realize it's natural because you're getting higher. I like to ride motorcycle, I like to ride scooter. And so there was one time when I was riding a mountain road, a 4-hour drive. And on top of that mountain, there was a coffee. And I also like to drink coffee from time to time. After riding the bike there, looking forward to have like the first coffee at half of the journey. And then I was standing there at this terrace in the middle of the jungle, standing there with a coffee cup, looking down at the valley, which is the jungle, and seeing the monkeys jumping around there. That for me was such a moment I remember where something shifted a little bit, where I would really say that was the time I felt again how I arrived. There was nothing to want in that moment. It was the realization in a way. Yeah. And then this internal smile comes out. It's like the heart starts to laugh. From inside, it's like, it feels really joyful. These are like moments that sometimes pop up over and over again. And what all of them, I think, have in common is there is something about arriving in the moment. The past, you don't know the past is there. The future, there are no thoughts about the future. You just arrive. You just arrive and realize, what if that's it? There's no wanting anymore. It's full already. The fullness has entered your perception. You have realized it's full right now already. And so this is a very, very special feeling that I don't know if I would call it happiness, but it is a very, very fulfilling moment. So these moments of fullness, of being fulfilled, sometimes these moments you have in a partnership when it's really, really fulfilling. The only problem is you have that moment, but it's based on a condition. It's outsourced to your partner. So with the partner, you have it. Without the partner, it's gone. So that again, it means something outsourced. So therefore, it's nice to be able to have this type of relationship, but it would be even better if you find the answer to that state of being by yourself completely. And then whoever accompanies you, it doesn't matter.
I like that.
Stop making too concrete plans and ideas how your life is supposed to look like. Let's just imagine we plan everything into detail. You plan it so well that actually you know already where you are going to be in 10 years. What's the point of waiting 10 years long, knowing already what's going to be the outcome? Like, you know right now already what's going to await you in 10 years. It's pointless. There is something completely missing that we humans are able to tap into. And this means sometimes that spontaneous things is what is adding the salt, that is adding the spices into it. If everything would be planned, let's put it like this, it's boring. I think it is the balance, a personal balance, or people need to find for themselves about, I am determined, I commit to something, I give my life a direction. Let's put it like this. You give a direction, but what appears along the way, walking towards the direction, this is you're open to. It's a kind of combination. It's not that you like freely float around in all directions, no. You are committed, you have a goal, that one is fine. But along this way, there is still something about spontaneity, there's still something about being able to adapt, being flexible, and also to sometimes immerse yourself into something that inside of your plan just wasn't there at the point of planning. Is that structure and the pattern of you are never enough of where you are. There is always something more. There was a time we had no mobile phones. It came out, of course there was time we wanted to have it. We did everything, we went to work, we earned the money, you got it. You got it, it didn't last. You looked for the next thing for achieving. You look for the next trophy to get again. You got the trophy, not enough. It's going to collect dust, you need the next one. So there I see there is a pattern. The pattern of how to spend your lifetime running after achievements and running after trophies that at the end of the day going to collect dust. You're going to not take them with you wherever you're going to go when you pass away. So very quickly for me, I said, it's maybe part of how you can spend your lifetime. It's not fulfilling. And this is the moment where then maybe some people talk about spirituality, a higher sense, a purpose. This is where then it came to me, where I started asking myself questions. What is it essentially I would like to do with this lifetime that has been given to me? It's not about knowing. It's not about knowing there are patterns. It's not about knowing this is good, this is bad. It's about, you know it, what you're going to do with it. What is your human expression with the knowledge that you have just attained in this lifetime? Everybody knows smoking too much is not good. What you going to do with it? And this is where this practice comes in. Because it's hard, we need to practice. Because you cannot just like jump in the ocean and then start swimming. If you've never done it before, you're just going to drown. So what you're going to do? Step by step, train, practice, grow in confidence, grow in skill. And what's the advantage of it? A big threat is being taken off from your life. A big threat of just like going in the ocean and drowning. Instead of drowning even, you will start to realize how nice it probably even is to simply be in the wide, wide ocean, free. There's something special about it, but only if you have the skill. Without skill, it's like deadly. It's not the ocean that is the danger. The danger is that you are putting yourself in situations, into life, without proper skills. How much real energy, real effort, real discipline have you put into your daily life in order to get to those 100 push-ups? And this is the whole idea about what is it? Skill. You don't get skill as a present in this lifetime. You might get a talent, you might have a gift coming to this world, maybe from your parents, maybe from another source. You are gifted with something. But if you don't cultivate that gift on a regular basis, even that gift will just dissolve. And therefore, skill means there is some continuity to it, and there is the conscious investment of going through hardship. Because why can't you do the 100? Because you have never forced yourself pushing through your limits. When your muscles started hurting, you already stopped. Yeah, that's why you go to the point where it's burning, you get used to the burning, and next day you continue. So there's something about hitting the limit and step by step overcoming it. So, and this is where like this relation for me from the physical martial art practice, taking it back to how to build a proper, purposeful, fulfilling lifetime. I think it is very much related upon skill. How skillful are you walking through this lifetime? And the more skillful you are, the more beautiful, the more easy, the more playful, the more enjoyable you can walk through it. This is like the whole analogy, how I can maybe express it. If you want to go deep in something, time is necessary in how much you're spending with something. But at the same time, it's also your ability to observe. I also witness quite a lot like feeling inside the people. The mind sometimes I feel is not there. They are physically at a very beautiful place. Physically they are there, but the mind seems absent. Because apparently the mind and the body is nothing which naturally is regarded as being together. And this is the result of why? Because sometimes of the system. Because you continuously look and search for something which is not here right now. So what does it mean? It means body is here, but your mind is looking for something. And if you don't pay attention to this, it can just manifest and express itself in exactly such things. You find yourself actually in a place which is super beautiful, which is offering everything that you need, but you are not going to recognize it. Because your mind is a step already again ahead of it. And if this type of pattern, if this type of habit and conditioning you don't realize about yourself, I really think you're missing some essential part about living this lifetime, which is about the enjoyment of what you have. So does it mean I should always enjoy just what I have at the moment without ambition? No. Again, balance. Work for things you like to have. Do the work in order to get it. But observe yourself at the same time when it comes, when it enters your life. Do you still have the ability to really forget everything else and just enjoy what you have? There's something about balance there. It's really helpful. And especially, it doesn't cost anything. This is the best part about all of these sharings and teachings, that it only depends on your perspective. Everybody already has his or her own perspective. But the more perspective you have, the more possibilities, the more choices you have. At the end of the day, you are the one, it's your life. You decide and you take the consequences. If sometimes in this lifetime you feel I'm stuck somehow, why? Why are you stuck? Because you continuously try to move forward with the old patterns that also haven't worked the last 10 times. It's time for a new perspective. The seniors are very highly regarded, the parents, the grandparents. Why is that? Of course, they come from another generation, but doesn't mean that their thoughts are outdated. So it's good. Father, mother, what do you think about this and that? It's not that you have to do it like this, but it helps me also to understand the world from other people's perspective. Then it just widens my horizon. That's what it does. And at the end, I see the situation from this angle, from that angle, from that one, from that one, from that one, from that one. So that means I see many perspectives. This is why I probably see many more solutions. And then at the end, I choose the one which I think is appropriate for what I can do and also which consequences, and they will come. Every decision will have a consequence. The question is, can you live with it or not? This is also like, is it good or is it bad to do this and that? I don't think about good or bad. Nothing is ultimately good and nothing is ultimately bad. Let's just say, for an example, this idea of yin and yang, small and big, high and low. So those two fingers, if that one right now is considered small and this one is considered big, what I just said before, there is nothing ultimately good, there is nothing ultimately bad. Nothing is ultimately small, nothing is ultimately big, because it depends on relation. In this constellation, that one is the small one, that one is the large one. In this constellation, it just shifted. So it's not right to say that this one is always the big one. It's not true. Only in this constellation it's true. Same now goes for nothing is ultimately good, nothing is ultimately bad. It depends on in which relation to what. Based on this thinking, it's not useful for me to judge the world by this is good, by this is bad. So therefore, how to take decisions? Based on consequence. Whatever you do, it's gonna bring out consequences. And you decide if you are able to live. That's it. This is what you base your decision on. Is it good to do this or not? Is it bad to do this or not? I don't know. What's the consequence of this and what's the consequence of that? Which one of these two you prefer to live with in the future? That one you take. It's an individual choice. There are people who have the luck, who for themselves, they just tap into their intuition. They follow their gut feeling or they follow their heart. Sometimes you have people like this, they never take any advice from anybody else around them, but their life is running good. They are happy with the decisions and the outcome. But people are different. Maybe this is a type of person, he has some type of clarity already. This is why the intuition helps. Why he can so quickly identify it and follow up upon it. But intuition is also something not everybody has it in the same amount. Sometimes you can't change people around you. But what you can do at all times, every day, is to do something about what is in your own hands. Yourself. Turn the finger around. Do something about yourself. Develop yourself. Invest in yourself. You grow as a human being. You grow in skills. All of these things, they will naturally just follow. Because you are starting to express something that people nowadays are not seeing often anymore. You just become the magnet. Why? Because people are used already to average. Every day they see average. But now they start to see something different. They start to see another attitude towards life. And so this feels, I think, like a magnet. Taking care of the mind. How do you do this? In order to know what is important to you, it's necessary also know unimportant things. It's not necessary 7 days a week to only do important things. What I mean is, you need balance. You consciously sometimes need to do something where you really feel this is really unimportant. Because it keeps something inside of you open. In our field, keep the body not just healthy, but watch out for methods to make your body really performant. Performant for that specific area where you want to find yourself in. Physicality, activity, vitality, yoga, many things you can do. But there should be something. For every person, there's the right time. There's nothing to hurry, nothing to worry. It's in each individual hands. So why do they fail at the moment? I could say because they haven't failed enough yet in order to make the next step. Or because they didn't see the lesson yet from that failure. There are so many different reasons why people do not continue. But it's just a question of time until they will. Switching the states of mind. Putting yourself consciously into different states of mind. There are different ways how you can put this into practice. It is super helpful if you learn to work in cycles. For example, when it comes to you need a new skill. You want to develop something. You need to learn how to use a new software program, to learn accounting, to learn to do the web page. You want to develop something new about you. The most effective way is to cut yourself off for a certain period of time and do nothing else in between. For that period, for that cycle. I don't think it is a good method within a 30-day month to spread it apart, to have too many things at the same time. Here you make that skill, here you make that, here you make another one. Of course, people say, yeah, but I can't concentrate on one. Well, concentrate on 3. Better on 3 than on 10. Because it's not just physically transforming. Mental changes. And they just don't go so quickly if you jump too much. They don't penetrate deep enough for you to have a lasting impression of what it is that you're trying to develop there. Whatever vision and dream you have upon yourself, that you are projecting upon yourself, I do think that you need to have at the same time a commitment. The commitment and what are you going to do with that identity of yours if you're going to get there. You are creating because you want to help. You are not creating any identity of yours in order to harm. I think if this is what your initial intention is, then I think the penalty will come. You might reach it in this lifetime, but if you bring this one to an end, if you continuously go there, you're going to be lonely. You're going to have everything you want. You're going to have everything that blinks. You have all the reputation. It's all great. Everything you ever dreamt of, you have it. What you don't have is something that gives you real stability. Something that gives you real value in this life. I think it is something that can't be taken off from you. It is the connection to other fellows. It's a connection to humans, to animals, to this world, and ultimately the connection of this life. And what happens with this person if he only lives this way of life? He's going to repeat himself. What do I mean by repeating? I jump a little bit, but sometimes this life seems to me is like a video game. If you're at level 1 and continuously fail at level 1, you're never going to move up to level 2 and get into touch with the next challenges of life. So if somebody is still stuck on the material level of wanting this and that, so really materialistic, this is really the basic plane. This is like level 1. Sometimes it's necessary. You need to have it first. And then your relationship towards these things starts to shift. And suddenly you find yourself that now it's not these things anymore that start to matter to you. Now suddenly, since you're in level 2, now you're starting to ask yourself, okay, now it's not material things anymore, but I love my wife, I love my husband, I love my children, I love my dog, I love the jobs, I love my employees, but they are getting sick, they are starting to die away. This is now starting in level 2 to trouble you. So now it's the time, figure out a way, how do you walk through this lifetime, figuring out these challenges of life, that our ancestors lost people. Our future generations are going to lose beloved people. It's nothing new. How do you learn despite the fact of that is existing? How can you still find something about yourself to still keep going, stay strong, still keep going and supporting and helping despite of these things. And then maybe level 2, you manage to find a way for yourself. And then you're going to be exposed to the next type of challenges that this life is giving to you. So what I'm talking about is that I'm not sure if life is getting easier. I just think that you are becoming more mature. You are becoming more skillful in order to tackle the challenges of life. You travel into the world of your memories and you travel into everything that you are still able to recall in your mind that has happened in the past, when somebody hugged you, your father, your mother, your grandfather, your first girlfriend, your first boyfriend, it doesn't matter. Recall the situation where you think this was the greatest feeling I have ever felt when I hear about that word love. Recalling it again and now know maybe how it feels. And after you have this feeling, now you ask yourself, if something like this is existing, and you would have the chance that the people in this world can choose in which state of being would you yourself personally would like to live, and what would you wish the others to live in? I think if you're intelligent, we'll only come up with one answer, which is for all of them. This is the reason why out of that loving feeling arises what we call compassion, which means I know how great this feeling is. I know in which direction I would like to guide my life to finally have this feeling more in my life. Then you see people that are obviously sad, that are obviously having issues day in, day out, and busy with their mind, and you see how they are suffering. And because you see it, and now have this direct comparison to yourself, this is why it becomes so much easier now that you are not going to act anymore out of ill will. So the ill will is only there because you are not at that level yet where you can stand above it. Easily said.
Invest your lifetime in elevating the openness of the heart for you. This is the elevation. But how are you able to elevate? How do you know at which level of elevation you are finding yourself? Well, this needs to be tested. What it means is, if you are still getting angry if somebody like takes your cup of tea or takes your cup of coffee away, I mean, it's still far, far away from being an elevated soul, from being an elevated being. If small things like this still bothering you. Could happen that more and more often you are just dropping something, you are losing something, people take something from you away, it always triggers the same level of your elevation inside of you until you master it, until you have come to the conclusion, okay, it cannot be. For the last 5 years, I'm exploding. Yeah, I'm getting super mad whenever somebody takes my cup of water. So how often will this repeat again until you learn the lesson? And when this happens, it's gone. But now something else comes. Now maybe you start having a relationship, but all the time you are confronted with jealousy. And then you just observe yourself what happens when you are acting upon jealousy. Mostly the outcome is not going to be one that keeps the relationship alive on the long term. So if jealousy is a problem that you carry from one relationship to the next, to the next, to the next, and then one day you are wondering, why are you not able to keep up a relationship? Well, this is another type of challenge. It's another type that tries to trigger how much are you internally elevated, evolved. How much have you matured? Have you grown inside of yourself? And the amount of tests, the amount of challenges, they are infinite ways how to test you. But one thing always stays the same. You need to find a way to overcome them. The only thing I realize is that I can be in two different states of the mind. I can be continuously being mind-based, and whatever comes on my mind, this is what I am acting upon. Whatever comes to my mind, I'm going to act on it. So just right now, if I feel like, I'm hungry, so then I follow up on the thought, I'm hungry, so that means I have to stand up, I walk somewhere, grab something to eat, come back here, eat. But another way, another state of the mind is simply that right now, for example, I'm talking with you. And of course, I can observe myself how maybe sometimes thoughts are popping up. The difference right now is that I am, first of all, not directly identifying with any of them. I know they have popped up, but they just have no relevance at the moment for the fact of that I'm speaking with you. This is at the moment what matters more to me than to eat or to drink something. But because I can see the thoughts popping up, this is why I can decide to not identify myself with it, because it has just come to my attention. This thought has only come to my attention, but that's it. Just because something comes to your attention doesn't mean you have to act upon it. So one thing is to hold on to the thought. This is already the first thing that many people sometimes do. A thought comes up and you actively actually hold on to it. The second, I call it mistake. Yeah, it's not the proper word, but the second trap you can do is, after grabbing it, you invest even more attention to what you have grabbed there, which means now you're starting to fuel this thought. You're giving energy, you're giving awareness to this one thought. And the more this energy is now flowing into that type of thought, well, the more it's going to carry you away. But the bottom line of living this life is that from morning till evening, we all have thoughts, but the message is 90% of all the thoughts are unnecessary. They don't have a relevance for something that you really want to do when you wake up. If I were to talk with you right now, I have set my mind, I'm going to be concentrated, we have this conversation, and all the thoughts that pop up in between, it's irrelevant. So I can see them coming and I can see them passing. And afterwards, when we have finished this conversation and any of these thoughts start to pop up again, then I have still time now to decide, do I want now to follow up on any of the thoughts or not? So that means suddenly you have control. You have control over your 24-hour day. If you eat, you eat. If you talk, you talk. If you sleep, you sleep. If you make a movement, you make a movement. This is the way of life. Nowadays the problem is, you talk, you think about eating. You are eating, you think about sleeping. You are sleeping, you think about moving. You are moving, you think about reading. Okay? So for me, it's not, I don't want to be out of the body. The thing is, I don't want to be unaligned. This is what I don't want to be. Everything about me, I want it to be aligned. What I feel is what I say, is what I think, is what I do, is what I act upon. It's one way. It's not two options. So what is a very special moment? It is when no matter what you're doing, you just do. It's one. You're not thinking about what you're doing. What you think is what you do. It is synchronized as one. And this is what year-long martial art practice is doing, is training you, is displaying to you that there is a way how mind and body can unite to such a deep, deep level that it has nothing to do with thinking anymore. It's the pure expression of what you are, not who you are, of what you are. So if you want to have a specific outcome, there is a rational way of how to achieve this outcome. But what if the outcome is not in our hands? Which means sometimes you walk through this lifetime, it doesn't matter what you have done. Sometimes you are encountering people that come into your life. You don't know why they show up, why exactly in this moment of time they have appeared in your lifetime. There is nothing rational about it, but there is a deep truth embedded in this. Meanwhile, is my personal feeling, you are never meeting somebody by coincidence in this lifetime. Everybody who appears in your lifetime, they are there for a reason. And maybe it's for you to figure out this riddle. Why is that person coming to your life? What is that lesson you are supposed to learn? Why nowadays do different places like monasteries, like ashrams, why do these places exist? Because there are certain frameworks. You are setting up a certain environment. And in this environment, it just makes it easier to cultivate something specific, let's say. But for the beginning, to really develop something, it is very helpful to have the proper framework. And this is what a monastery, an ashram, retreat places, being calm, being isolated a little bit for yourself. This is where it helps in the beginning.